Fantastic.
Something's here. Treasure, perhaps?
Wait, is it?
皆様、本日はお集まり。
Okay. Auto translate? English.
いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。2025年3月期決算個人投資家向け Q&A セッションを開催いたします。
Financial report. I don't know if the English translation is going to be good here.
ご質問答えてまいります。よろしくお願いいたします。
お願いします。
はい。ご質問は事前に X で、ハッシュタグドリコム決算 QA というつけていただいた投稿の中から一部をピックアップして回答させていただきます。まあ、配信時間ですとか、
I didn't realize that this was out.
ご回答
These are the Wizardry Devs, yeah.
それご了承いただけますと幸いです。はい、それでは内藤社長よろしくお願いいたします。
はい、よろしくお願いします。それでは、一つずつピックアップしていければと思います。まず、ハンさんかな。ダフネのブラバスコラボですが、本編参加条件ともに初心者にはハードルの高い内容と感じました。難易度についてこれず常時プレイ継続。
Hold on. As for Daphne's collaboration with Bravus, I take it that's Blade and Bastard? I felt that both the conditions for participating in the main story and the content were a bit too difficult for beginners. Regarding the difficulty, it seems that this will be an issue for players who have up on playing the game at all times. Are they planning to continue designing the difficulty as they have for both the main game and the collaboration? So now it's been a very difficult part. I myself got beaten by Hiryu and Koko Tepe on the first try. Don't understand how difficult it is. The difficulty of the best part of Daphne itself will be high. I think it will be easy for beginners too. But to achieve both, that is, making sure that players don't stumble to the start so that they can keep playing for a long time. Fire, Ryu Dragon. Ah, Fire Dragon. Thank you, Shu. Yeah, the dragon was the only issue for Fresh 60s. We want to achieve both. That is making sure that players don't stumble to the start so that they can keep playing for a long time through events or collaborations. The people at the accommodation site are also working on this. Okay, not really too worried about any of that. We don't want to cater to beginners or newcomers. We want to be able to achieve both. We ourselves have also been a bit hesitant about designing the difficulty level in games that we have run in the past. That is. We want to try out various things, including making sure that players can enjoy the game. We're already in the midst of conducting various experiments, looking back at events we've held in the past. We would like to recognise the issues that people have felt and use them in the operation of the game? The subtitles. Oh, there we go. For some reason they were dragged off the screen. Even if I Be Thinking of You World is completed, when will you start to make a profit from your publishing? I don't know what that is. I Be Thinking of You World? I Be Thinking of You World. I Be Thinking of You guys. I have no idea what that is. For publishing novel, comic, webtoon, and video animation businesses. Scared of discouraging casual newbies? It looks like they are a bit, yeah. Username? Username? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe sleep. Man, I'd love to sleep to win. I'd like to start returning profits to shareholders soon. There seem to be a lot of bugs in the new game. Is there anything you can do about it? We are hoping for the next new game to be a big hit. So I have a few questions mixed in. But first of all, the publishing part is where the profits come in. So we are still marking it as an investment this fiscal year.
赤字という部分に関してネガティブなトーンも出ていますが、
Oh well, there are some negative comments about the fact that we were in the red.
事業において手応
We
え
feel
を
that
感じてい
because
る
for people who don't know here, although Daphne is doing extremely well, like so much better than they could have possibly projected, the rest of the company is not in a great place. Like DRECOM has been in a financial hole for what, like a year almost, I think. They are in an absolutely rotten place. Yeah, this is DRECOM. Yeah, this won't only be Wizardry. I'm interested in the whole thing though, Dark Chaos. So like, I actually want to see the whole thing. I want to try to understand what they're talking about. So like, their shareholders are very concerned with them. Their shareholders have been selling their shares a lot, which is why the company is in a lot of trouble. And the bump from Wizardry has only accelerated people in selling because they're like, holy shit, like DRECOM stocks, DRECOM prices have just come up a little bit. Time to sell. So yeah, they are having to sort of throw themselves on the mercy of their shareholders right now. And the main reason I want to watch this is because I want to see and also read the financial report when it actually comes out to see how their other IPs are doing. That doesn't necessarily have any implications for the health of Wizardry, of Daphne, because, you know, even if DRECOM went under, it would probably get sold off to another company, but that in itself is maybe concerning. But the game, like Daphne's doing great. Like Daphne's doing really, really well. It's just DRECOM is not. Continue to put up the posters because we feel like they're making progress in the publishing video business. In fact, we have seen an increase in tourist numbers and have had some hit titles. So we feel that we should continue to put up the posters. This must be advertising. Of course, we recognise that it's necessary to close the deal. Close the deal in the medium term. So I guess they're saying that they understand that they need to start making money, basically. They're gonna milk as hard then. I don't know. We're watching the DRECOM financial report. Any bit? Believe, or it's a financial Q&A. Believe that the right time is still right to do so. I think there will be questions asked before the disclosure of the financial statement. I think their shareholders have a lot of questions to ask them right now. The comments from the shareholders. We milking Wizardry. We're gonna find that out today. We're gonna hopefully we're gonna see if Daphne is their only financially stable property. I'd like to ask Jan to provide an explanation, including supplementary information on the financial statement. I understand, as we announced today in our financial statements regarding the dividends for the fiscal year ending March 2025, which is just finished, we've disclosed this before. We are currently paying a dividend. However, for the fiscal year ending March 2026, which is the current fiscal year, we'll be announcing our performance forecast and dividend forecast based solely on this financial statement. And we are currently planning to pay dividends at the end of this fiscal year. We're doing this in the form of a forecast. Anyone have any idea what that means? I don't know if that's slightly mistranslated, but that doesn't make any sense to me. The next up is Urumaru-san. Well, the TV commercial for Denny Step. Oh, that's the Disney Step. So this is one of their IPs. Disney Step, is it? Yeah, Disney Step. This is one of their current IPs that they're working on. Started with the game resale, but will there be commercials aired after the resale of other titles in the future as well? It depends on the case. Yeah, Disney Step. I'm gonna call it Denny Step. As for information, we each use media such as TV and internet, sure SNS, Japanese instant messaging, actual over-the-counter events. Test what is appropriate for each of them by making hypotheses, and then if it turns out to be as we assumed or not, we move on to the next challenge and we optimize our promotions by going through the PDCA cycle. I've seen that's some kind of regulations board. We intend to continue in the future. Just a few more questions related to Disney Step. questions. I doubt this is going to tell us any of the like details about Disney's step. Have to really have to wait for the actual financial report. We will refrain from answering questions that are not related to our company's IP. Let's skip over a few of them. This must be a shitty job to do, incidentally, like being on a... You can see how like downcast they kind of look. They're having to look humble because obviously DRECOM is not doing very well. This must be a very, 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 very shitty job to do. Gacha 2, I don't think so. Disney Step. The location information. Yeah, it's a step game. It might have microtransactions. It's you know, like a walking game. You get more points the further you walk. Which is a pretty niche genre, I think we could probably agree. Not Pokemon Go, you know, well, kinda, but not really. Like, you do walk about and you get chests and things, but it's a similar sort of concept. Similar. I don't know if it has microtransactions. Probably does. Candy. Our month until the release of Harpico Meme. That must be Hungry Meme. That's Hungry Meme, right? Harpico Meme. For people who don't know Hungry Meme, DRECOM. Hungry Meme is this pile of absolute shit. I don't know. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen. I cringe every time I fucking watch this. I don't know. Before you ask, I don't know. It's Hungry Meme. This is one of DRECOM's other IPs that is upcoming. That I guess they hope is going to be viral with kids or something. It's like some kind of Animal Crossing Pikmin hybrid. I wonder sometimes when people make stuff. Yep. If they see what they make. I'm sure they must have some kind of goal with it, some kind of demographic they're aiming it towards. It's getting much attention. I don't think it's getting much attention. So, to be honest, this is our first time releasing a game on Steam or a consumer platform. We're taking into account whether the current situation from a month ago was good or bad. We're learning as we go. Catching up. Of course, we've heard from various marketing companies about marketing for Steam. This week's release. Wait, shit, is it out this week? Oh, damn it. Oh, no, it isn't out this week. It's out next month. Next month. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. It's the first time we've had to look at the numbers for a release. We want to deepen our understanding, learn from that, and catch up quickly so we can make it a hit. So to be honest, I don't know what the current situation is like, because there's nothing to compare it to. Oh boy, oh no, the game's fucked, it's fried. Next up, also Candy. I don't know what Candy is, necessarily. Candy? DRECOM. Dr. Candy? No, that can't be it. Candy DRECOM. Candy? Yeah, I'm not sure what this one is. Probably the person he asked the question. Why don't you update the website on the web, the information on the website to everyone? Does no one even ask about it in the car? I can't check it, so I wonder if this kind of in-car measure is a good idea. So this must be like a real-world product, maybe like an air freshener or something. That can't be right, surely. Information has been updated. Sorry. We would like to properly update the IR section here. That is where you pointed out the question. Candy's content business. had sales of 778 million yen. Candy's content business. What could that be? Candy DRECOM. Candy. Games? Candy Critters? Is this it? Is this DRECOM? No, that's Playside. No idea what that is at all. Apparently it earns some amount of million yen. Can't be No, I don't think they own Candy Crush. No, I don't think they're quite that big. Unless they're just like, well, look at our games. They're not doing so great, but Candy Crush. Let's have a look at Candy Crush. Candy Crush is doing excellently. What an excellent IP. On to the next question. Candy Critters is apparently not it. Candy Critters is made by someone else. We can see investments in Kurashima, sure. I do not know what this is. It's one of their properties, I guess. 864 million yen. How much is that? It's what, like 10 million? Oh, less than that, I guess. 5 million? That's 6 million. The units are probably wrong here. Units of 1 million yen. Why do they have their numbers wrong? Oh, DRECOM. Oh, DRECOM. This is similar to the comment I made earlier, but in the short term, well, we are still positioning this year as an investment. Yeah, so they are. What that means in business terms, I guess, what I'm extrapolating here, based off of a probably sketchy translation, is they are expecting to make like a loss this year, and they're expecting to try to turn the company around next year, which is always continuing to invest because we are seeing positive results. Not only do we want to increase our number of tourist attractions, but we also want to set up as many policy committees for our own anime works as possible. So that's the one thing that does seem to be going quite well for them. Like the Blade and Buster stuff seems to be doing quite well. So there's that at least. Seeing positive results in terms of investments from other parties and collaborations from other businesses. So we would like to be proactive in this area as well. We'll continue to invest, but as you pointed out, Translation, Sam. Translation, Sam, we need you. We are, of course, hoping to make a turnaround in the near future. Candy-san, ships in Korea and Taiwan are rising, but the US has not increased at all. Probably because you have no marketing department in the US whatsoever. As for whether we have yet to conduct full-scale marketing in the United States or whether our marketing has concluded, I explained briefly in the financial results presentation, the initial response in each country is only in Japanese and English. We were looking at the numbers, retention rates, and payment amounts. And then we put marketing on areas that seem to have a good response, since it was difficult to... It was difficult to payment amounts. Put marketing on areas that seem to have a good response, and since it was difficult to conduct marketing worldwide at the same time, we were doing it one area at a time. The reason why we are not ranked high in the US is that some parts of the US have not yet made the investment required for marketing. Especially in the short term, Hong Kong and Taiwan have strengthened their marketing considerably. As a result, their numbers have gone up. Therefore, we recognize that the DRECOM IP is a global IP. What could DRECOM be? DRECOM. Daphne? Maybe that's it. Daphne. Maybe they're talking about Daphne. Yeah. So So we would like to create opportunities for as many people as possible in as many countries as possible to get their hands on it.
いうふうに考えています。ちょっとどうしても一刻をマーケティングする
Marketing every moment is difficult because there are things to learn every single moment. So I'd like to take it one step at a time. These are not convincing words that you want to be hearing from the like CEO of your company that you have shares in. Thank you as always, HDK. The future prospects are looking pretty good, so I'm looking forward to it. The forecast dividend is 5 yen. I assume it is not 5 yen. Might that be 5 million? I'm not sure. We have incurred considerable losses this fiscal year, even including major losses. We're still in the negative by 12 stations. Okay, please tell us the background to the decision to resume dividends. So they are spending this year, even though they are at a loss. Standard for dividends that we will issue if certain conditions are met. So we are predicting that this fiscal year's forecast will meet that standard. So we have announced that we have made that decision, or rather that we are predicting that we will resume dividends. You're also the overseas branch manager of Daphne. You're the Prime Minister. I was talking to my sister about using AI for translation. Is it being used for the Chinese version? How is the response? At the moment, we're not disclosing how much AI is being used for which languages. Interesting. So I won't disclose that. But that temporary translation, yeah, this is Wizardry again. It's done by AI, and then humans correct it properly. I can believe that from what I have seen personally. So I have quite a bit of knowledge of AI and AI translation because I used to do it as part of my job, both identify it and also use it like for the jobs, for proofreading, for developmental editing. And Wizardry does not look AI translated. Like, it might have AI translation on it, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but it looks like it's checked afterwards. Yep. So like, there's nothing wrong with using AI translation, other than, you know, moral things about putting people out of work, etc., etc. But there's nothing wrong with using it as long as it's checked afterwards. If you just leave it, like, it will be trash. But if you have, yeah, there's a few typos here and there, probably due to non-native checkers. But like, in general, the conversation flows and it makes sense, and like the words and stuff that are used make sense. So I haven't seen anything that has indicated to me that there is like AI translation in the English version that is not checked by some kind of hand afterwards. He was corrected properly. The history of those corrections is learned, so the translation system is improving. The system itself is starting to work, so we're feeling the results. I will immediately recognize it if it starts to drop off. Like, if they stop checking it, say Abyss 4 comes out, and that it will be really obvious if the translation falls. Even though there is no screening agreement in the near future, we have high hopes for the success of the film project. I wonder if that's Blade and Bastard. Just other titles you participated in. Going forward, we would like to basically announce all of our own works that are being made into anime. Yeah, I think they were talking about Blade and Bastard. But as for the policy committee's investments in the other companies' works, including obtaining permission from the policy committee, as the number is increasing, we would like to consider in our future IR guidelines whether we should disclose everything or not. Right. That is an excellent way of swerving the question completely. It's like, yeah, well, that answered that. On to the next thing. Thank you for taking care of me. We are expecting very good results this fiscal year. I think there's a certain amount of charges in the official... That's Daphne, right? Gotta be Daphne. Yeah, Daphne store. Unlike Apple, I don't know the exact number of the exact nature of the situation. I'd say that this is like the real store for Daphne, I think. Is it? Or is this the microtransaction store? Charges at the official Daphne store, unlike Apple. I don't know the exact nature of the situation, so I'd say the charges at the official store, the total amount. Apple, I don't know what the Apple's about. So, well, I'm just asking because this information is not currently being disclosed. There's an awful lot of information at DRECOM that is not being disclosed right now. It's odd, that, isn't it? But I think that the situation is that the charges from the store are increasing dramatically. So the microtransactions, presumably, through the Daphne store are going up. Everyone often looks at the sales rankings. They're probably going to talk about like sensor tower data here, sensor tower style data. But the ratio of Apple, oh, of course, they're talking about Apple versus Android because Apple doesn't show up on the sensor tower sales. Yeah, makes total sense now. Yeah, it must be iPhone store, like you guys are saying. Ratio of Apple and Android actually varies quite a bit depending on the title, and even if it's generally the opposite, it can actually be different. So yeah, they're trying to explain here to people who aren't aware of this that like sensor tower style data is not very accurate. It's only a guideline because it doesn't account for all sales. If you pay directly from the store, yeah, it won't be reflected. I was literally about to say that it won't be reflected in the sales rankings. I think it's best to think of the sales rankings as just a guide, a reference, yeah. This is one of the first things that you learn when you start playing gachas. Like, the sensor tower is a nice guide, it's a cool thing to look at and discuss, but like, it doesn't actually sum it up. It can be a good guide, sometimes it can be really, really bad, like sometimes it can not give you an accurate kind of thing at all. It's good for trends, not numbers, exactly, Shu. As you know, Apple's numbers tend to fluctuate in the short term, but Android's numbers are relatively long term. So I would like to keep in mind the changes in the rankings and the different responses of each app as you look at them, yeah. Chen, are the pre-order sales from Harpico meme, that's Hungry Memes going smoothly? I would love to know this. How many thousands of copies do you expect to sell? So like us, we haven't disclosed any information here. And we're also... Oh no. We're also planning to sell our next title on Steam Consumer. So they're not going to talk about the title that they've just named. Instead they're saying our next title is going to be on Steam too. We hope to learn as much as we can from this experience and use it for this title and also for our next title. Well, the mobile game market is highly competitive, but in the last few years, with the exception of Daphne, all of the games released by Otosha have had very tough results. Please share your honest thoughts on the current #1 ranking. Well, this is just my personal opinion. But first of all, this is what we've talked about a lot of times, like Daphne is the only jewel in their crown right now. This is where the meme came from, not the hungry meme, but the normal meme. That, although Daphne's not going to EoS, DRECOM might. Looking at the market as a whole, as an objective outlook, mobile game market itself is in a mature state. As a domestic mild game market, I don't know exactly what that means. Well, it's not the size of the overall market is decreasing, but I recognise that a large portion of the overall market sales are being accounted for by existing titles. Sure. And by existing titles they mean Daphne. We operate 11 titles. So there is a positive aspect to the fact that many of the existing titles make up the market. When this market was created, many people said that the lifespan of each title was probably 2 or 3 years, which was quite a short-term view. But when you actually open it up, it's been more than 10 years since this market was created, and it has been played by many people for over 10 years. So is this including things like Disgaea RPG? Is that still running? I'm not super familiar with all of their properties. with a large number of titles in general, so I think that this situation is a positive one. Chat, are we EOSing? Again, like, Wizardry is not EOSing, but there is always the constant fear of DRECOM EOSing. Like, Daphne's doing fucking great. DRECOM, though, not so much. When it comes to new titles, even if you look at the year as a whole, it's not like there are a lot of titles popping up that would make it into the top 10. So we ourselves are narrowing down the number of titles that we actually go into development. Thank God, because like your portfolio is a mess. It is an absolute abomination. If we looked through it and we were like, dear God, all of these games look like they're designed by like 10-year-olds, marketed to 10-year-olds, and unfortunately all 10-year-olds involved are completely somehow out of touch. Setting a high bar for ourselves when it comes to entering full-scale development. That's the current situation. I don't know how these guys made Daphne. I genuinely don't. Like, if you look at the rest of the portfolio, it's wild. Size something. I don't think the market itself will shrink that much, nor do I think it will become a situation where there will be big opportunities for new titles. And I think the current trend in mobile games, centered on smartphones, will continue. For a while. Yep, I think that's a pretty safe bet. Well, they've already got Eternal Crypt. I was hoping that they would discuss Eternal Crypt in this, because I'd really like to know how that game is doing. Of course, there may come a time when the use of AI will bring about a major change in user experience. But these guys have more than meddled in NFTs as well. Like, they have messed around with NFTs for years and have been unsuccessful in every attempt with it. From what we've seen. This year and next year, I don't think there are any signs of that happening. So they're saying that AI is not going to like take over the market in the next few years. I think that's reasonable. AI still isn't there in some way. Okay, so this is they actually said Candy Sun. I didn't realise that before. So this is a person. Shouldn't really realise that. Regarding Arrow, the article from 2020 onwards, you asked about the realistic 3D map. Looking at the steps, I think that the map is pretty much a single game for others. Feel it. Arrow DRECOM? Arrow is a platform for building AR smartphone. Oh yeah, this is it. Arrow is a platform for building AR smartphone applications using location information and 3D real maps, developed by DRECOM Co. Limited. Has developed a new map data management system for Arrow, conducted a demonstration experiment with Anarchasoft Co. Limited to verify its effectiveness. Location information. So this is Google Maps. Unless I'm misunderstanding here, that is Google Maps. I can feel it. When we asked the experts to tell us about characteristics and qualities that make them different from the... Is this going to actually touch on this? From the Chigenjin. I don't know what that could be, possibly be. Garbage? Garbage tomorrow? DRECOM EoS when? Hopefully not soon. But I wouldn't say that this presentation is particularly heartening. Most of their answers to their shareholders' questions have been like, we can't disclose that right now. The distinctive features of the method of expression is that it can be freely changed to suit each IP and each opponent. Most recently, even with Disney Steps, they've been changing all the backgrounds to suit the event. I think that the
形に変化させているところなども含めて、そういったことが臨機応変にし
The
や
fact
すい
that it's so
という
easy
と
to
ころが
adapt is one of the
一つの
distinctive
特徴
features
だ
of the Arrow
なので
theme park. The Arrow theme park. So like, I guess the experience of Arrow.
はその
The two
背景
distinctive
な領域
features that are the
世界観
background
自体
or
を
worldview
会員
can be
に
changed
全部を変えること
entirely
ができる
for
という
members.
と
There's some kind of customization on how you can view the world in this, as opposed to something like Google Maps. It sounds not great.
それを低コストで、まあ
Without having seen it, like obviously I can't judge for sure, but it doesn't sound great. The other is that it can be operated at
運用することができるという
low
ところが
cost.
2つが特徴的な部分かなというふうに考え
In
ています
particular,
し、特にこの低コス
I
トとい
think
う
that
とこ
this
ろ
low
は
cost
モ
is a
バイ
very
ルゲ
important
ーム
point
な
when
り
it comes to
まあ
using
一時
mobile
ゲーム
games
または
or
一
single
ゲームだけで
information
こう位置
games,
情報を使ってい
or
く
just
ことにおいて
not
は
just
まあ
one
非常に重
game,
要なポイン
but
トかな
single
というふう
information.
に認識しています。
They're going all in on Disney Step. I mean, I think they're just trying with all of the IPs that they've got going. Arrow was probably used to build up some of the features for Disney Step. Yeah, I could believe that. I'm sure they planned on pivoting to other AR titles if it's successful, which it isn't. Yeah, they heard Disney and went all in. No wonder their operating cost this year is terrible. Yeah, they've been saying that this year they didn't say it specifically, and obviously there's translation involved, but they were basically alluding to the fact that this year is going to be a pretty massive loss for them, and they are viewing it as an investment towards next year, which is generally not a great thing in a company. They have their golden goose. Why not full send Wizardry? I don't know, man. Like it's not enough earnings, right? It's not enough. Like, yeah, Daphne's doing well if it's making, you know, 3 mil or whatever, $3 million, but that's not enough to keep a company afloat, and it's not enough to appease their shareholders. They need other IPs that are doing well as well, and Daphne isn't going to grow. Like, if anything, it's going to shrink, right? Hopefully not greatly, but it's probably not going to grow because it's still a fairly niche IP. It's probably got all of the people that are already interested in it in Japan, like already interested in it. It's probably got most of the people who are interested outside of Japan already interested in it. It's probably going to be, you know, it's probably going to lose more players than it gains from now on, unless it receives a huge amount of media attention for some sort of reason. That is just the way that games are. Like, I'm not saying that Wizardry's dying or anything like that. It's just the way that games are. Like, unless it has a steady advertisement stream, you know, it's unrealistic to expect for games to continue to grow. They will hit a peak and then they will slowly decline. And I'm sure the same will be true for Daphne, but I'm not saying that the Doomsday Daphne. It's more that it's just a kind of fact of gaming, of game development. So they need other IPs to support them, like beyond Daphne. They can't just like sit on Daphne and push Daphne. As much as I would love them to. Because, you know, in all regards, at least in some regards, they're doing a pretty good job with Daphne. Whether it's by luck or actual skill, I couldn't really say, but somehow they're doing a pretty good job with Daphne. West generally have a low attention span, yeah, indeed. Once they figure out how to promote Wizardry in the West, I believe Daphne will grow. They are not going to promote Wizardry in the West. They don't have any idea what they're doing outside of Japan. I'm afraid that is absolute copium.
ももももももさん、ハーペコミーマキャラクター可愛く期待しております。
Hapakomima. I'm looking forward to seeing your... This is hungry meme again. I'm looking forward to seeing your cute characters.
広告などの売り出し方が非常に重要なのかと思いますが、施策ありますかということで、ちょっと何を
I know how you think the market it, such as through the reports, is very important, but are there any plans? So it's a bit difficult to say exactly what. But as I said earlier, the marketing of this hungry meme itself is a bit different from what we've released so far. So they were saying earlier in the video, for people who weren't watching, that this is the first game that they've released on Steam, Hungry Meme, like solely on Steam. And they basically have no idea what they're doing, and they spoke more about the fact that they're going to help use the experience to shape how they release their next game on Steam, rather than talking about the game itself, which I found absolutely hilarious. Hungry Meme, again, looks like one of the worst games I've ever seen. Hungry Meme, gonna sell more billions. Yeah, I can't wait until the Daphne Hungry Meme collab Cannot wait. They go on new challenges.
Steam
And Steam, PC games, and consumer games are also challenges. So I would like to continue to experiment, think about various things. Great. I think that the Wizardry Variants, ship story, BCM worldview, characters, etc. are embodied in a sense of depth and composition that is missing from modern games. Looking ahead, we need to plan for the future and develop on evolving packaged products that will be maintained. We are considering how to develop Daphne. One thing we need to consider going forward is what to do with Wizardry as a consumer product. We are having various discussions about this, and I think that this is one aspect of the future we will be considering. Right. You don't seem as energetic as usual. Are you okay? They both look like they've had a long week, month, year, decade. Naito, you've lost weight. I'm looking forward to what's to come. Please do your best during the match. Do I look a little down? Well, nothing has really changed. The look on the smirk on this guy's face, he's like, yeah, we probably do look like shit, don't we? It's true that I did lose a lot of weight a year ago, so my weight hasn't really changed much in the last year. Let's tell you a more uplifting story. But yeah, we wouldn't want to hear about the financials here, would we? Probably the end of the last event, at the start of the Daphne event. I was pretty excited as I was spinning the gacha, and that image is stuck in my mind. So that's just what people think. It's not going to be any different from what it used to be. I guess that's all for the question for now. This is the financial Q&A, Prov. Isn't anything to do with Daphne particularly, not specifically, it's to do with DRECOM as a whole. It's their quarterly financial Q&A with their shareholders. That's all for the questions. I'd like to conclude this session. These guys have a tough job right now. In terms of the next opportunity, we will have our general shareholders meeting in June. We'll also have our first half financial results in July, which are likely to do the same format. I hope you will all participate. Thank you for watching until the end. You're welcome. You're welcome, DRECOM. I cannot imagine that they enjoyed doing that. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. It doesn't seem that DRECOM is doing particularly well, unsurprisingly. We still don't have the actual report up, as far as I'm aware, unless anyone can find the report on their financial results page. I don't think it's out yet. But I would really, really, really like to take a look over the actual report. By the end of the year, it sounds like they are looking at probably making a considerable loss, and they're aiming to turn it around in the next year, which is... whether their shareholders will be happy with that, I do not know. Remains in the eye of the beholder. I guess we'll just have to find out in due course. Daphne's doing well, at least. Oh, it is out. You read it when you came out. It's not in comprehensive format. Ah, okay. That explains it. Right, we can have a look. Ah, yeah, so they don't have the actual, narrative breakdown of what's going on. This is going to be extremely difficult for me to read. I am no economist, I'm afraid. But for anyone who perhaps is used to analysing this sort of data, it is in chat from Dorcamus. Throw in chat GPT, we could do that, yeah? It's not a bad idea. Am I logged in on here? Hold on one sec. don't think there's anything on here that is fine. Right. Hi, ChatGPT. Can you analyze these financial reports for me, please? I don't know if it will work just linking it straight to here. ChatGPT is pretty smart nowadays. It breaks ChatGPT down. DRECOM Co. Limited has published its financial reports up to the third quarter of fiscal year 2025. The latest available report, the reports are available in PDF format. Comprehensive analysis, you can download and review the reports. Okay, that's not useful. What's the best way? You guys, do you have any experience with trying to get it to analyze this? Anyone happen to have any paste the PDF in DeepSeek? DeepSeek, okay. That's not how you spell DeepSeek. Don't know why I thought that would have an A in. I have not used DeepSeek. What do I do here? Do this? When was I born? Oh no. Oh no. 1985. I'm ancient. Hi, DeepSeek. I probably need to download the PDF, don't I? In fact, that might work with GPT as well. 85. That's literally the oldest anyone has ever been. Something like this, it loads it for you. Oh, I mean, that's probably as good. Thank you, Documus. I haven't used ChatGPT for something like this before. DRECOM Limited's fiscal year 2025 results show a significant recovery in sales and profitability in the second half, but the company still posted a full year net loss, as they talked about in that interview, the Q&A. Trend is positive. The overall outcome is mixed. This is all projected as well, right? They are projecting that they're going to recover in quarter 3, apparently. Net sales grew sharply in the second half, especially quarter 3 and quarter 4, driven by the success of the mobile game Wizardry Variants, Daphne, and new content launches. Keep in mind as well, this is again AI, so this might not be accurate in any way. It's just a summary, which is better than we can put together, unless we have any trained economists in chat. Hello, Von Stickity. Hi, Aphonia. Wizardry is saved. Wizardry is already fine. Like, it isn't Wizardry that needs saving. It isn't Daphne that needs saving. It's DRECOM that needs saving. Company was loss-making in the first half, with operating and net losses both quarter 1 and quarter 2. Quarter 3 marks a turnaround with operating and net profits. Quarter 4 remained profitable at the operating level, but ended with a net loss due to extraordinary or non-operating items. Full year operating profit was positive at 112 million yen, recovery from a larger loss in the previous year, but the net loss was still substantial at 1,000 million yen. Oh dear. The game segment drove the recovery, especially in quarter 3 and quarter 4. While the content segment remained loss-making throughout the year, though only games were profitable. Yeah, holy indeed. Assuming these numbers are correct, because this is AI, that's not great. I think we can probably agree. DRECOM's earnings trajectory in fiscal year 2025 was volatile. A weak first half followed by a strong rebound in the second half. Launch of successful new titles such as Daphne was pivotal in returning to operating. Again, like, you see this brought up again and again and again. I'm not joking around when I keep saying, like, Daphne is the only thing that is going for this company right now. It's the only thing that has worked for them in the last, like, 5 years. Despite the improvement, the company remains in a net loss position for the full year, indicating that while operations are stabilizing, legacy costs, one-off expenses still weigh on the bottom line. The company forecasts further improvement in sales and profits for the next period. suggesting management is optimistic about sustaining the recovery. Sales growth, good. Operating profit improved. Net profit, bad. Like, it's generally not a good thing when the company that you have shares in tells you that they're going to make a big loss this year, is it? Game strong, content weak. Positive. I mean, they have to be, don't they? DRECOM Limited's fiscal year's 2025 earnings show a company in transition. Operational performance improved sharply in the second half. The full year result is still a net loss. Turnaround in sales and operating profit is a positive sign. The company needs to sustain profitability and address ongoing losses in non-core segments to fully recover. The trend is improving. The overall result for fiscal year 2025 is mixed, not clearly good, showing meaningful progress compared to prior period. Let's keep in mind again, this is projected as well. Like, this is not something that has happened. This is something that they are hopefully projecting. They are saying we are going to make a gross loss, and then we are going to bounce back in quarter 3 magically. I guess that's probably around some of their other IPs launching. Will that be true? Watch this space. Thank you guys. Thank you for linking all of that. Thank you for sitting through the presentation, I guess. Unfortunately, we won't have like a breakdown of details until June. The bi-quarterly report they mentioned in the interview. That's when we'll have their feedback on the breakdown of those numbers that we just saw.